Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. This is going to be CBR number 4 at the Carson course. We're going to be going counterclockwise here. And this is going to be my first race back from my crash. And unfortunately, didn't go too well. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. My back's still been giving me some problems, but it's slowly getting better. It's been better for the last week or so. So I tried to get back on the bike. I haven't done any hard rides or anything, so this is going to be my first hard ride. I've done Montrose twice, but just sitting in 8 o'clock. That's not too hard. Didn't have to do really any hard efforts. So anyway, I jumped in here, thought I'd give it a go. Really want to do Tour de Marietta next week. Definitely wanted a race under my belt before I get there. So jumped in, give it a go, tried to warm up the legs and all that good stuff. And really, I think I just need more time to heal. I think I bruised my kidney pretty good. Nothing too serious. I say it. I know a bruised kidney is nothing to play with, but I didn't get it diagnosed or anything. I'm not a big fan of rushing to the doctor. I typically give myself a little time to heal, give it a few days, keep monitoring it, all that kind of stuff. And I've been healing, so I'm not too worried about it. Unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated, and it just takes me a little longer to heal now. So anyway, jumped in here, thought I was feeling decent, at least good enough to race. I knew I was still hurt. I knew my back still been messed up. It hurts after every ride. It hurts when I'm just walking around. It just hurts 24/7 basically. But it's getting better, and it's really more isolated now. So it's like I walk around and I don't feel a lot of pain, but then a certain movement feels like I'm getting stabbed in the back. And then after I get stabbed in the back, it's followed by a pretty good burn, almost like a lactic acid type burn. And that could just be from my back being fatigued for the last 3 weeks, with the muscles being a little damaged and bruised up. Obviously, they atrophy just a little bit in that short period of time. So they're really weak. But anyway, I wanted to give it a go. I wanted to race kind of hard today, just to see if I could go hard. And I'm going to do some efforts at the beginning, but even now, the more I'm racing, every time I have to do a hard effort, my back's just hurting more and more. So it was a good turnout, good race. It looked like it was super hot. I think it was fast, above 27 miles per hour again on average. We had some good rain in the morning. You could see the road's still a little bit wet, but it cleared up pretty good by the time we started racing. Just a couple minutes before this, or I should say about an hour before our race, it was raining still pretty good. The first race of the day was pretty soaked. Had a bunch of crashes in that race. And then in our race, or this race here, the conditions are actually pretty good. You can see it's 63 degrees. There is a pretty good breeze, though. Right here, I think it's a tailwind at this portion, and then cross and headwind everywhere else, basically. You saw Bart, I think that was Bart, shoot up the inside because there's a big breakaway going off up there. I think it's about 9 riders. So here, I wasn't going to close the break initially, but I did want to do a hard effort. So I was coming to just do a pull, and then I see the rider here jump off, so I just jump on his wheel. It's a little harder effort than I wanted it to be, but, I was committed to it at that point. I did want to do some work to see if I can go hard, and so I got out of the saddle there to chase, and man, that was it was a dagger. It was a really sharp pain in my back, right about where my left kidney is. That's where most of my pain has been. And here I could hear the guy behind me yelling at me what the F are you doing? Keep going. And I'm just nah, go ahead. You can do that effort, But yeah, getting up from seated to standing, then back seated again, that gives me trouble. And then while I'm seated here and doing hard accelerations, that gives me trouble as well. So I can ride pretty easy, but I can't ride hard yet. I'll just give it another. I really want to do Tour de Marietta next week. It's 2 days. So I'll monitor it and see how I'm feeling in the next couple days. But I may have to skip that as well and try to come back during Redlands the following week. But here, yeah, I'm gonna jump in and sit in and try to recover a little bit. But for the most part, I'm just gonna be fading the rest of the race. Um, Honestly, I fitness wise and stuff, I think I was fine. I could have just finished the race, but I didn't think it was worth it for the amount of pain that I was in, to just kind of circulate the course. And you know, I don't think I can do any worse damage to it. I think it's just soft tissue damage. I don't have any issues with my like back or spine or anything like that. It's just one of those deals where I need rest basically, and keep rehabbing it. Keep doing what I'm doing, icing and stuff like that. I don't ice it all the time anymore because it's not as inflamed as it was. But yeah, to just keep on the rehab process, and then to get a little strength back in it as well, because I can definitely tell my back is obviously weak because it fatigues really fast. So there's Bart again right there. He came back after that effort. You can see people are getting off the front there. It was really spicy. Even the short amount of time that I'm in the race, I'm only going to be in the race for about 20 minutes here. But even the short time that I was in the race, I think I averaged about 260, which is a pretty good average. And I'm sorry, my normalized was about 260. I was only about 220 average or so. But, sometimes I'm that for the race. And in that little short period of time, it was pretty spicy. And then, of course, after this, I became a spectator and watched the race. So, yeah, it was spicy throughout for the most part. There's a lot of attacks, a lot of people trying to get off the front here. A lot of the moves just kept getting brought back, though. As you can see, like, they're still on it. This is uphill a little bit downwind, but, we're at 28 miles per hour, so it's not like it's an easy effort. There's Dustin right there. I think this is his first race back as well from the crash that he had. He has a different issue. I think he's had some knee issues. Mine has been just my back, really. I hit my head pretty good, too, in that crash, but cracked my helmet in 3 spots. But honestly, my helmet did its job. I had the Specialized Evade 2 at the time. The back of it got cracked in like 3 spots. But I didn't have any headaches, any neck pain, nothing. So definitely the helmet did its job. Shout out to the young lady from Orion over there on the right. I think it's the only woman that we had in the race this weekend. She raced this race, and I believe she raced the women's P123 as well. So it's always good to see a mixed field and, some very strong women racing with the Masters group as well. So, yeah, I'm just sitting in now. Honestly, I'm debating right here, like, if I should pull out or not already. I handle pain pretty good, but yeah, it was hurting. I was hurting. It was just anytime I, smashed the pedals pretty hard from a seated position, it was just kind of torquing my back a little bit, like feeling like I said, like there's a blade going into my kidney or something. That's what it kind of felt like. And then once I let off the pedals, it just felt like a very, like a burning sensation. Like, it's probably just the weakness, like I was saying, like muscle fatigue in my back. But it felt like I did like 1,000 crunches or something. But yeah, the pace is still pretty strong, pretty good. We had a good turnout again for it to be, kind of a rainy day. We had a good turnout of about 50 riders, I think, in this field here. And it may have been more because there was a little glitch with Bike Reg that kind of shut the pre-reg off. So we may have even had close to 60 riders day of. Yeah, and to me, this is kind of the harder side of this course going this way. I mean, none of the courses are like really hard. Of course, at race pace, everything can be hard depending on how the race goes. But yeah, majority of it is kind of uphill, like you see here, 3%, and the rest of it's like a false flat, So it may say that it's flat, but you're almost always going slightly uphill through here, and there's a pretty good crosswind here as well. slightly uphill here as well, but there's a little bit of a tailwind. And as you do this course, 50 minutes, these little false flats kind of wear on your legs. It just kind of dulls your power a little bit. And to me, it's easier going the other way when you have the steep section, but it's only 1.5 of a mile or so. So you just it's just kind of momentum power climb going the other way, and then the rest of the course is virtually downhill. And this is the exact opposite. You got the short downhill, and then the rest of the course is like a rolling kind of false flat. So yeah, now I'm just kind of settled in back here. But like I said, yeah, I kind of knew I wasn't going to finish this race. I was just not in a good spot, like physically. But I was trying. I was like, never know. Sometimes it loosens up. Not really loosens up because like I said, it's my first time riding hard. So I didn't expect it to really loosen up, but sometimes the pain does go away a little bit for a while, and then it comes back after I stop moving, like after I stop working out or whatever. I ran like 6 miles on Tuesday, thought my back was, I do that every Tuesday. I run an hour every Tuesday, somewhere between 6 and 8 miles. So since I was able to run, like while I was running, everything felt great. And once I stopped running though, for probably about an hour, my back was killing me again. And I did try to ease into it. I didn't just jump straight back into running an hour. I had ran 30 minutes the Tuesday before. I only run 1 day a week. So I kind of thought I was pretty good, but I know after I finish my workouts or a ride or whatever, I know there's some back pain there, but it's been getting better. So I definitely thought like, yeah, maybe it'll, kind of warm up, for lack of a better word, and I'll be able to finish. But yeah, it was kind of getting worse as I was riding. Yeah, so I was kind of doing the self-motivation talks back here of like, just keep going. You never know. Just keep going. And at the same time, I was like, yeah, but why are you going? Why are you even putting yourself at risk? Just pull out of the race, So you see those cones on the right. You see the stage 2 guy kind of weaved inside those cones. I like it better when they have the barriers over there instead of the cones. The barriers are just easier to see. I know they're there the entire race, and everybody kind of knows they're there. But, like I said, for some reason they do creep up on you. Once you know they're there, obviously you should avoid them. But, sometimes they creep up, and as you're racing and you're holding wheels and kind of get into the red, there's riders in front of you and you don't see the cones and they kind of move out of the way. But as a general rule at CBR, if you go outside the cones, you're disqualified, like, period. Doesn't matter if you're forced out or anything else. If there's a crash, whatever it is, if you go outside the cones, you're disqualified. So for me, that little section there, I like it better when they use the fence with the CBR logos on them, just because once you come around the corner, you clearly see that fence angling in there. And sometimes when it's cones and the cones are spaced out, every 10 yards or so, sometimes you don't actually see the cone, and out of sight, out of mind kind of deal. And I'm just saying that for general conversation. I didn't have any issues with the cones or anything. But they announced it at every beginning of every race. You go outside the cones, you're disqualified, no questions asked. So yeah, as you can tell, we've been on it pretty good here. We're only doing 25 miles per hour here, but yeah, the group's been on it. There's still people trying to get away off the front there. There's already a group that's already turned turn 2 already, and now you see the Pelotons turning as well. So there's still a small break off the front. Yeah, what sucks about it is legs and lungs wise, I didn't feel too bad. You can see my heart rate's down to 164 now, so I'm definitely all fully recovered and all that stuff. as far as aerobically. But yeah, just my back was not cooperating, and unfortunately, I think I've missed the last 2 weeks, so this is the third week, and I only did a partial race here. So yeah, unfortunately, from something I thought I walked away from pretty easily, and thought I got away pretty clean, is kind of lingering on now. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to do Marietta, but it's kind of looking like Redlands might be a better choice. Yeah, I think our races too this year I think they've been pretty exciting races. You probably can't tell from watching some of my videos, but yeah, they've been pretty spicy up front. We got a handful of really strong guys that are definitely masters at running the brake, and definitely with the team cooperation that we have in the group, that's always a potential for a strong group of guys to just kind of get off the front. I don't think we've seen a solo break at all. We usually have a group of about 4 or 5 guys that get off the front, and every once in a while or maybe like the Costa Mesa race only, there was kind of like a split in the Peloton there, and it was a little bit larger group off the front. But yeah, kind of like Ronnie was saying when he was announcing on Sunday, is there's almost always, in crit racing, there's almost always 2 races going on. You got the guys that want to break away and want to get away as, whenever they can and kind of minimize the field. And then you got the other guys that want everything to stay together and finish in a bunch sprint. And for the most part in crit racing, we don't have too much in between there, Sometimes you'll have a person, an individual that might want to get away on like a last lap flyer or a couple lap flyer. But overall, that's typically not a team strategy just to get a 1 lap flyer or 2 lap flyer. It's usually create the break and get in it, or keep it together for a bunch sprint. And I think in this group, we got teams that can do either one, Definitely have a decent amount of sprinters in the group. And for sure, like I said, we got a group of 5 to 8 guys that love running brakes or love riding brakes. So yeah, they would definitely always, or it seems like this year they've been trying to do that from the beginning of every race, trying to establish some type of breakaway and see who's willing to go with them, on that day. So yeah, I'm still hanging in there right now. Yeah, like I said, it's on. My back's basically on fire, super weak, and then that shooting pain. But I'm still hanging in there now. I think I'm going to give it another lap or so, and then I'm going to call it a night. And it was, honestly, it's a little depressing. Not because of the finish or anything like that, but it's depressing just to be injured. And as you get older and you start to realize like you heal slower and all that kind of stuff, that it gets more depressing. But that's just a part of life. I mean, everybody has those highs and lows. It's not a big deal. So yeah, thinking of that cask helmet right there, that's what I kind of have on today. I think that same model, I had to throw the GoPro mount onto this helmet. I have 2 of these helmets, one black, one white, and then I have another specialized helmet that they're gonna help me out with crash replacement on. So I got the Evade 3 coming in. That'll be probably my race helmet. But yeah, it was on order just because, they didn't have my helmet size, so I had to order that one. Yeah, so like I said, lungs and legs wise, I'm fine. You can see 160 is like super low heart rate for me in racing. My threshold's about 172-ish for heart rate, and I max out just under 200 at 197. So definitely, I've never seen my heart rate in the 150s. I don't think, not legitimately. Um, but yeah, like I said, I can't go. Back's killing me. Um, and I'm just gonna decide to pull out after this next lap here. I am optimistic though, like I said, a little depressing, but hopefully I can get to Tour de Marietta. And I think I'm making the decision to race my bike again. Just this crash and kind of being in the races nonchalantly, it kind of woke me up a little bit. Like if I'm going to be out there, I need to be competing and race my bike. So once I'm back to racing again, hopefully in the next couple weeks, yeah, I think I'm going to decide to, put a little effort into it and try to race and get some better results here. But as you can see here, I'm kind of setting myself up and just pulling over. I'm still torn. I do not like having a DNF next to my name. But yeah, it just wasn't worth it. My back was killing me, and I'm out here circulating in last place or whatever for no reason. So I just pull over to the side, wave my hand, let everybody know I'm pulling off, and I call it a night. So it was a great race to watch. Wish I could have participated in it. But yeah, hopefully you'll see a new me once I come back. I'm going to decide to race my bike and just see where I land. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. But in the meantime, please support the women. They've been crushing it. We got some wins and stuff like that. So I'll throw one of those videos out next.